direction. We're not here to give you that feeling back. We're here to give you much, much more than just that feeling. And I'll talk about it soon. Just have back what we had already is not enough, not for me. Definitely not enough. But first of all, I would like to thank our hosts, Ephraim and Zanir, and also Howard that arranged that. Thank you all for coming. It is a very important evening, and we need you all on our team because we have a very, very important revolution today, as the Rabbi mentioned at the movie. So let me start at the beginning with a little discussion I had with Shmuel just 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, Shmuel called me in Israel. He was working very hard with a team in New York on the main event that took place last night in New York, our annual dinner in New York, and the rest of the events in this trip. And Shmuel tells me, Moshe, we have a problem. I must talk to you. And I felt in Shmuel's voice that just a phone conversation will not be enough. So we sat down, and I said, yes, Shmuel, what's the problem? He said, I'm talking to many good Jews in America. And it seems like some of them don't understand what you want from them. They tell me that everything is okay. Israel is doing very well. No rockets flying from Lebanon recently, in the last week and a half. No rockets flying from Gaza in the last 3 days. The economy is doing very well, all kidding aside. The Israeli economy is doing much better than the American one. Tourism is great, and so on. Really? Everything? Okay, so Netanyahu frees the settlements for 10 months. But you need to give something to bring back a good relationship with Obama. So, okay, after the 10 months, we'll build again in Yehuda v'Shamron. It seems like things are doing okay. Then what do you want from our life? What do you want in Manhigut Yehudit? Let the guy Netanyahu lead Israel. It seems like he's doing the best that he can. So I told Shmuel, my first reaction was, reminds me of a joke. A guy jumped from the roof of the Empire State Building, and at the 20th floor, someone opened the window and asked him, how's it going? He said, so far so good. So, I mean, we all feel, you don't need to be too smart to understand that things are not going exactly in the right direction in Israel. But all kidding aside, we sat together, Shmuel and I, and tried to find the right sentences to explain what the problem is. And I told Shmuel, don't you see, don't they see, those who tells you this in America, don't they see that our basic existence is under a big question mark today? Our ability to justify our existence is getting, we're losing it. Our leaders, our ministers, defense minister, and also Bughi Ya'alon and others in the government, and not only in the government, also the head of the opposition. See, believe me, they're all afraid to leave Israel, definitely to Europe, because in many European countries, in many European airports, they are looking to arrest them, looking to put them in jail all over the world, like international criminals. We're talking about the leaders of Israel, looking to arrest them like pirates. Okay? The whole world is looking to arrest them. And if our leaders are, if the leaders of Israel are like pirates today, what does it mean about the entire boat? You're talking about a ship of pirates. It sails on a borrowed time. And the whole world is just waiting for this boat to sink. God forbid. Do you remember ever a situation like that in the last 62 years, since 48? And on the other side, a guy named Ahmadinejad, who's a real criminal, who killed, I don't know how many thousands and hundreds of thousands of his own people, and aiming to bring the whole world into a third world war. He flies around freely, no one trying to stop him anywhere, even here in New York, here in America, it's both in New York. So we become the bad guys of the world, right? How did this happen? If you watching the news, you see that the whole world today is running after the Mossad agents, right? Why? We're talking about Australia, Great Britain, okay? The whole world is running after the Mossad agents. Why? Because they say that they killed an arch-terrorist in Dubai, terrorist named Mamkhouk. So instead of saying thank you, Israel, for helping us get rid of this arch-terrorist, the whole world is running after who? After those who did this important work, right? And by the way, they did it exactly in the same way it was done many, many years before. Something changed. We become the bad guys of the world. The legitimacy of our existence is gone. The bon ton, as they say, in the universities, in Europe, also here in America, is the question, the so-called academic question, is how will the world look like without Israel? And usually the answer is it will look better. And I'm sure you understand, we're not talking only about Israel over here. We're talking about each one of you. We're talking about every Jew in the world. Because whether we like it or not, Israel represents the Jewish nation. The Jewish history is being written in Jerusalem, not in the world, not in LA. So what happens in Israel has a direct impact on every Jew in the world, including LA. We all understand that. How did this happen? How did it happen to us? After all, Israel is a very strong state. Great economy, great technology, great army. We managed to build in Haiti a much better hospital, field hospital than the Americans, right, in their backyard, right? Everybody understands Israel is a serious country, Western. How did we lose our ability to justify our own existence? I'll tell you how. For the last 62 years, the Israeli leaders worked very, very hard to explain the world that we are not a Jewish state. We're not. Shimon Peres, our president today, said that Israel is the Singapore of the Middle East. We are just Hebrew-speaking Singapore. The most influential persona in Israel in the last decade, Aharon Barak, the head of the Supreme Court, the minute he resigned, went out public and said, for me, Israel is not a Jewish state. He did not even try to cover it. For me, word to word, for me, Israel is not a Jewish state. Israel is a state of all its citizens. Period. Aaron Barak. And that's the direction of the entire major leadership of Israel. The academic leadership, the political leadership, that's the direction. Well, guess what? After 60 years, they succeeded. They convinced the world. Because we are not a Jewish state. We are just the Singapore of the Middle East. And the world say, if you're not Jewish, if you're not a Jewish state, just a state of all its citizens, then what gives you the justification to throw away another nation who lived there before you? If you're not leaning on your Jewish roots, there is no way you can explain and justify your occupation, not only of Hebron, but also of Sheikh Munis in Ramat Aviv, in Tel Aviv, and in Ashkelon, in Ashdod, all Arab cities before 48. We convinced the world we are the bad guys. Because we were afraid of our Jewish heritage. We decided that we're going to build not an Israeli state on top of our Jewish history, another level on the Jewish history, but instead of our Jewish history. So after 60 years, the world tells us if we already have one Singapore, we don't need another one. Very simple. So we were talking, Shmuel and I, and after about an hour of trying to explain, first of all, what kind of sentences we're going to use, how we're going to make the point that people will understand what the problem is, I told Shmuel, you know something? Just hit me. We did not establish Manhigut Yehudit because the existing prime minister at the time is good or bad, doing a good job, doing a bad job. That is not what Manhigut Yehudit is all about. We are not reacting to the way the existing leadership is functioning. This is not what we are for. Let's assume that you're getting on a bus and you want to get to, well, you're in LA, you want to get to New York, okay? And the bus is going, okay, you think the bus is going to New York, or going, I don't know, south, and suddenly you see that the bus driver is taking you north. He's taking you to his direction, to his goal, to where he thinks you should go. Do you then care if he's a good driver or a bad driver? If he's not taking you to where you want to go, but to where he wants to go, do you care if it's a good bus or a bad bus? Maybe you rather it'll be a bad bus and break in the middle so you can get off and go to the other direction, right? So why do we really care if the economy today in Israel is good, if the military is doing well, if rockets are flying or not flying? This is not what Manhigut is all about. If the bus driver insists on going to his direction instead of to your direction, you have only one thing to do: to find another bus and another driver. And this is what Manhigut is all about. We're not fighting against Netanyahu. We're not trying to influence Netanyahu. Because we came to a conclusion, as Shmuel explained, after we sat in jail, after we demonstrate against Rabin, and we demonstrate later on against Netanyahu and against Shimon Peres and against Sharon and against all the leaders, from right and left, we understood that we have a different dream, a different goal. And if we really want to fix the situation, There is no other way than creating a different leadership that's carrying a different dream. And what we have today is a potential leadership that dream your dream. Not just a state of all its citizens, or as Netanyahu called it in his book, place among the nation. We are not looking for a place among the nation. Believe me, Los Angeles is a very good place among the nation. It is not our dream. And I can tell you about many other nice democracies, nice place among the nation. It is not what we are about. We are about a Jewish state that is a light to the nation. And because we ran away from the original dream, our parents' dream for the last 3,000 years, to a new dream that failed. We ran away from the dream that our grandparents, all the Jewish people, to this new dream of actually a kind of assimilation as a nation. Because instead of individual, let's assimilate as a nation, as a country. Let's be like all the others, but as a nation, as a Medina. Because we ran away from our original dream to something else, this dream of place among the nation brought us to the current situation that I described before of, God forbid, soon we're going to have no place among the nation. Because we cannot justify with that dream our existence in Eretz Israel. That dream don't give us justification, don't give us the energy, the motivation, the goal, the spirit to deal with the challenges that we have today in Eretz Israel. Our dream is the real Jewish state. And the good news that it is not a dream of a small minority in Eretz Israel. You saw the movie now. And these people that you saw in the movie represent more than 80% of the Israelis. How do I know? Because when you ask the Israelis a simple question, what are you first? An Israeli or a Jew? Interesting question, right? When you're asking the Israeli, the entire Israelis, the Jewish Israelis, what are you first, an Israeli or a Jew? What do you think the answer is? Jew. More than 80% say we're Jewish first. Less than 19% saying they are secularists. Interesting, no? We always thought that we were talking about a big, small minority, religious. Well, more than 50% call themselves traditionals. Another 30% call themselves Datiim and Charedim. And between 18 and 19 call themselves Chilonim. So you see that you have a substantial 80% that their Jewish identity is the basic of their identity. That's the starting point of their life. And when they understand that if they won't have a Jewish state, they will not have a state at all. They understand that. But until today, they did not have the alternative leadership that represents their dream. Well, now they have. Now you have. Because it's not only ideology that we represent to you, it's a political plan. And I'm running. I'm running to become the head of the Likud. and hopefully the leader of the state of Israel and the people of Israel, carrying your dreams. And I think soon Shmuel is going to come here again and explain to you in detail exactly the political plan of how we're going to do it. And believe me, we are in a much more advanced position now than Barack Obama was when he started. We'll get into detail and explain it to you. But before I finish, I want to just tell you the last sentence. I think each one of you, each one of us, should ask himself, not how we influence Netanyahu, but who's going to come after Netanyahu. Sooner or later, he will finish like every person finishes his job.